Hey everybody! I'm here today to show you, but more specifically to tell you, how to clear your mind in under a minute. These will be easy instructions, so let's get right into this video. Once again, the topic will be me showing you, but more specifically telling you and talking to you about the following. I will be telling you specifically how to clear your mind in under a minute, and these will be easy instructions. Let's get into this. There are 6 steps towards clearing your mind in less than 1 minute. We're going to get into this really quickly. So number 1 is go to somewhere silent. Before I tell you the steps, let me tell you this. Some things deserve your mental space. Some things deserve to occupy your mental space. For some things, they got to just sit there until you figure it out. But most things that we worry about that occupy our mental space, we don't need to let them occupy our space. Think about them as like a guest, right? Your thought that's occupying your mind is like a guest, right? You want to invite it in, you want to talk to. I read this quote somewhere, I can't remember where, it's a long time ago, but it was on Instagram somewhere, but I don't remember who said it. But basically the thought is there, you want to invite it in like a guest and address it, but it's not a resident, it doesn't stay there, it doesn't live there. You can kick it out whenever you're ready. So these are the steps towards kicking out that thought, okay? So like I said, step number one is to go somewhere silent. You need to go somewhere silent. If you want to get this out of your mind in less than a minute, you gotta go somewhere like literally absolutely silent, or maybe put earmuffs on, headphones on. You know, you can put like white noise in your earplugs, in your earphones, in your headphones, or wear earplugs. Whatever the case is, go somewhere where there's not going to be any noise or very little noise. You need silence for this, okay? Or else it's going to take longer, okay? And I use this method myself. Number 2. Don't get interrupted. You got to try to go somewhere where you're not going to get interrupted. Somewhere safe where you know you're not going to get interrupted, or it's very unlikely that you'll get interrupted. And also somewhere where you have the ability to close your eyes, basically, and just sort of be one with your own thoughts. Because that brings me to number 3, which is to close your eyes, okay? Close your eyes, and you don't need to, but it helps, because it helps block out any distractions that you see around you, okay? Number 4, and I'll go over these at the end again. Number 4, think of the first thing that comes to your mind that is occupying your mind. You might have 10 different things, but the first thing that comes to your mind is probably the one that you can deal with right now, okay? So think about the first thing that comes to your mind. It might be a big thing, it might be a small thing, but it's definitely the immediate thing that needs to be thought of and dealt with regards to clearing your mind, okay? Number 5, does it deserve your mental space? Think about this. Some things, like I say, deserve your mental space. You got to think through them. You have to let them stay there, be uncomfortable with them, and eventually you'll get through them. But does it deserve your mental space? If it doesn't deserve your mental space, then you can move on to step 6. If it does deserve your mental space, then let it sit there until you're through it, or until you're ready to deal with it. But if it doesn't deserve your mental space, move on to step number 6. If it doesn't deserve your mental space, step number 6 is to solve it immediately, okay? Or come up with a plan to solve it, or simply forget about it. So either solve it and do what you need to do to get it done, or come up with a plan to solve it which you can execute in the future, or just forget about it. So just to clarify, the 6 steps towards clearing your mind in under a minute, and honestly, I use these all the time, constantly. If I'm somewhere, if I'm driving alone, I'll pull over, on a side street or in a parking lot, I'll do this in the car. If I'm at home, I'll give my wife a heads up, like, honey, I just need a minute to go downstairs. I'll go to the basement bathroom, and in the basement bathroom, there's actually what would have been a sauna room, but I've turned it into a drum room. I've taken out the sauna unit, but it's a separate room, basically. And it's silent. It's so disconnected from the house, it's silent, because it's under the front porch of the house. So it's so silent, okay? And I do it there, and it takes me like a minute, and I'm out of there, okay? So once again, the 6 steps towards clearing your mind, in less than a minute are the following. I got some food caught in my throat there. The 6 steps are the following. Step number 1, go somewhere silent. So find a place that's absolutely quiet, okay? Like dead silent, as silent as possible. Step number 2, don't get interrupted. You want to try to avoid getting interrupted if possible. Try not to get interrupted. Step number 3, close your eyes. You need to close your eyes to be able to envision what you need to see and avoid those visual distractions. Step number 4 is to think about the first thing that occupies your mind. It might be big, it might be small, but it's the thing you can deal with immediately, the first thing that comes to your mind. Step number 5, does it deserve your mental space? So step number 5, once again, does it deserve your mental space? Ask yourself, does it deserve your mental space for step number 5? If it does deserve your mental space, let it be. If it doesn't deserve your mental space, move on to step number 6. And step number 6 is, if it doesn't deserve your mental space, I'm stumbling over my words. Once again, step number 6, the final step, which is step number 6 of the process is, if it does not deserve your mental space, then solve it immediately, or come up with a plan to solve it later, or just simply forget about it and move on. If you can forget about it and move on, it will eventually leave your mind. You just gotta give yourself some time. That's it. I promise things will get better. You'll be able to clear your mind. You'll be able to think straight. You'll get there. I promise you. Take my word for it. You know, we've all been there, done that, where we've had, our minds are just overwhelmed, you know. And like I said, I'm a busy person. I'm a husband. My wife and I have 4 young kids together. I have many online businesses, and I run them all myself. No assistants, no this, no editor. It's just me. Okay, I worked full-time up until recently. Right now I'm switching basically to full-time content creation, but I worked full-time up until recently as a teacher. Yeah, I mean, essentially, yeah, we've all been there, done that. Everyone's busy, and you can clear your mind. Yeah, like I said, obviously being overwhelmed, having lots of stimuli that affects these things, you know, that makes your mind get sort of clogged up. But just like a drain that you can unclog, you can sort of unclog your mind. You just gotta take the appropriate steps. But yeah, that's truly it. If you like this video tutorial, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment, and of course be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.